Welcome back to the Mindfuckery podcast. Over the last few weeks, I've been guiding you through freedom beyond trauma, the journey of grounding, recognizing patterns, questioning beliefs that were never yours to begin with. But freedom isn't the end point. Freedom is the doorway. What comes next is integration. What comes next is sovereignty. And this is where the path of sovereign integration truly begins. The code of inner standing. Welcome to the Mindfuckery podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth, a trauma healer, author, and founder of the Inner Healing Sanctuary. The Mindfuckery podcast has been recognised by FeedSpot as one of the top 20 emotional abuse podcasts worldwide and number 3 in the UK for domestic violence. This show has also been featured by Million Podcasts among the best on narcissistic abuse, coercive control and complex trauma. I've walked this path myself. I know the pain, the confusion, the endless questions with no real answers. I've spent over 20 years as a woundologist, creating practices like wound talking and the original wound to help people like yourself clear past life wounds, ancestral trauma and this life wounding. Here we go deeper, looking for the emotional and ancestral wounds to break the cycles of shame, abandonment and betrayal and reclaiming every part of you. Each episode is an invitation to release, repair and return to yourself. And when your whole being whispers, enough of carrying, enough of looping, enough of bypassing, enough of rumination, enough of blaming myself. The next step is simple, a soul alignment call. In this call, I will attune to your field, sense what's alive for you right now, and map out your journey and where it begins. Inner standing is where freedom becomes embodied. It's where healing stops about being what happened and starts becoming how you live. It's stepping into power. It's an inner standing, an inner knowing. The first stages are really important. Clearing, grounding, recognizing survival codes, questioning the untruths. Inner standing is stepping in now to power. It's bringing that inner compass back online. It's not a concept. It's not overthinking. It's not proving in any way. It's sensing. It's knowing. Where understanding lives in the mind, inner standing lives in the body. It's your intuition. The body knows. It recognizes. It has its own language. It's the recognition that happened before words, before logic, before justification. And at some point in your life, you were taught to turn it off. You were told what you were recognizing was wrong. It might be that you were too sensitive, you were overreacting, you were overthinking, you were imagining something or making things bigger than they actually were. And you start to question and doubt yourself. And slowly that message lands within the body, not to trust what you feel, not to trust those messages, that language. I can remember so clearly this happening in one of my relationships. Right at the beginning of the relationship, there were a lot of infidelities and my body started to pick up that the messages were wrong. The information didn't marry up. The vibrations in my body felt wobbly. They felt wonky. They didn't match with what was coming back. They didn't match with the person that I thought I'd met months earlier. And when I started to discover these infidelities, and I tried to end the relationship, I was met with, we're soulmates, we're meant to be together, and I want to change for you. I had at that point a 3-strike policy. And once you've gone over that, your boundaries have gone. That partner knew that he could push me at any point. I didn't. I thought I was in control. And then at the end of the relationship, at the end of the marriage, I had these same feelings. I had this same emotion. I felt exactly the same as I had felt at the beginning. And I was met with, it was me. I was imagining things. I had trust issues. Maybe you can recognize some of these. But my intuition wasn't wrong. And even when I could prove that he was on dating websites, I was met with, I've been hacked, that isn't my profile. But there was a moment of clarity when I knew he was lying. And that was, I was so wired, my nervous system was in overdrive. I could not sleep. And I got up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I was sat at my laptop trying to work out, was he right? Had he been hacked? And he came downstairs to check on me, to check I was okay. And I just said I couldn't sleep. And I was staring at this website and he's claiming that the profile isn't his. The profile is somebody else's. He's been hacked. It was an old picture. When he went back upstairs and shut the bedroom door, there was a message appeared in the inbox to a woman. My mind was so screwed up, knowing really I should walk away at that point, but not being able to let go of the future, the plans that I had. That inner knowing was right. My intuition was right. I knew vibrationally what was going on because I'd felt it before. These messages is a language, your language. And we get taught that we shouldn't be listening to it. We should be listening to a person who doesn't know us in the way we know ourselves. And that is how inner standing goes quiet. It gets turned off. It doesn't disappear, but listening to it came at a cost, or comes at a cost. Linked into the 3 core wounds, it could be the cost of abandonment. It could be the cost of shame or the cost of betrayal. It could be all 3. Because I felt all 3 of those core emotional wounds. Not just abandonment for the relationship or being abandoned by the relationship and my husband. I abandoned myself. And I think that was a stronger emotion and harder to heal than anything else. But also shame came with it, and also betrayal, because again, it wasn't just being betrayed by a partner. I'd betrayed myself. So the nervous system adapts. It says connection is safer than truth. Harmony is safer than honesty. Certainty is safer than instinct. Intuition just gets overridden, but it lays dormant. That override becomes identity. You double check yourself. You explain. Perhaps you soften your voice. You question your first instinct. You're looking for reassurance, for proof. And this isn't because you're weak. It's because survival kicked in. Underneath it sits the original wound, abandonment, shame and betrayal, held in the body. Survival organises around protecting that wound. And inner standing begins to return when our need for survival starts to slow down, starts to calm down, starts to step back. I say to people, turn it on slowly. Learn to trust, because this is about trusting. Do little tiny things. It could be what you're going to drink or what you're going to eat for the next meal. Listening to your body. Inner standing starts to return. It doesn't shout, it doesn't argue. It just needs to be witnessed. It's the quiet no, the steady yes. A contradiction when something misaligns. Oh, I felt that in my body. You don't need evidence. Your body has already registered it. And here's the bit that nobody talks about. Reclaiming intuition does take courage. Because once you trust yourself, you cannot unsee what you see. You cannot unknow what you know. You cannot continue performing safely if your body ignores the misalignment. And that was why intuition was turned off. It was muted. Not because it was wrong, but because it was powerful. And the path of sovereign integration is not about becoming louder, it's about becoming aligned. Inner standing is the stage where your body becomes your authority again. It becomes your guide. This is not hypervigilance. It's not suspicion. It's not reactivity. This is discernment embodied. And when that returns, you stop debating yourself. You stop outsourcing. You stop asking, am I overreacting? You start listening. You start leaning in. That listening is power. It's integration. That listening is sovereignty. And if something in you recognizes this, it's not an idea, it's a subtle settling. That is inner standing stirring. You don't need to force it, you just notice. Because that woman who once had to turn off her intuition is the same woman who now has the power to turn it back on. And this time you choose it. As always, I'm sending you loads and loads of love until next time.